So they just added this Mahdi character to the world stage. And a lot of people are coming out and saying that he's the anti-Messiah. But what most people don't realize is that the anti-Messiah already came. He's already deceiving the masses today. This is 1 Yahuchanan, or 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 18. Little children, it is the last time, and as you have heard, that the anti-Mashiach, or the anti-Messiah, shall come. Even now are there much anti-Mashiachim, or much anti-Messiahs. So he's telling you that back then there are already much anti-Messiahs already at work, whereby we know that it is the last time. So this anti-Messiah is nothing new. You got to stop looking for the coming of the anti-Messiah. The anti-Messiah has already arrived, and his name is J.C. He is no more than Satan masqueraded as a messenger of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no marvel, for Hashatan, the adversary, Satan himself, is transformed into a messenger of light. This false Messiah was used to cover up the true Hebrew Abari Messiah, Yahusha HaMashiach, which means Yah adds deliverance. Yah is the true name of the Father, Yahuwah. Yah adds breath. The Messiah told us in Yahuchanan, or John chapter 5 verse 43, I have come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another one shall come in his own name, him you shall receive. So Yahusha came in the Father's name, Yah. But here comes JC in his own name, and he's received all around the world.
That doesn't mean they're not religiously inclined or will be. If you look at other factors, and there are indications that a resurrection of Christianity is afoot. Remember how this thing started. The example of 12 zealous disciples of Jesus literally converted the entire world. If you really want to know what's going on, as those of you who watch the show know, I always look to the culture. Have you been to the movies recently? Some of the biggest box office winners in recent weeks, The King of Kings and The Chosen Last Supper. Why are Jesus movies beating Disney releases? Because there's a yearning for truth, eternal truth, and community rooted in that truth. On Amazon, House of David, based on King David's life, was one of the most watched new releases for the streamer. And there's huge excitement building around Mel Gibson's forthcoming sequel to The Passion of the Christ, 20 years after that blockbuster shook everything up. And churches, in case you haven't been paying attention, are packed this Holy Week. The National Catholic Register is reporting across the country, dioceses are seeing annual increases in new converts of 30 to 70%. That's up. I'm reading similar reports in England and France. I asked people...
We're honoring Jesus Christ, and we're going to honor Jesus Christ.
This was all prophecy. Check this out. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 and 4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. So if there's a falling away coming first, why is the religion of Christianity on the rise? Shouldn't it be falling away if it's the actual truth? And that man of crime be revealed, the son of destruction, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Elohim, or a mighty one, or that is worshipped. Now who is the most exalted and worshipped mighty one in the entire world? JC. When it should be Yahuwah Yahusha. So that he as Elohim sitteth in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. We are the temple of Elohim. We are the temple of the Most High. So how is this anti-Messiah going to come and sit in the temple of the Most High, showing that he is the Most High?
Are you sure of it? I'm going to ask you to come and stand in front of this platform and say by coming, I want to come to Christ with all my heart. I want to surrender to him. I want to make sure. You want to receive him into your heart, or you want to...
So when they do those altar calls and they tell you to receive JC into your heart, they are telling you to receive the anti-Messiah into your temple, which should be the temple of Yahuwah. How are so much people falling for this deception? Let's find out. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, once again, verse 9 through 12. Even him, the anti-Messiah, whose coming is after the working of Hashatan, or Satan, the adversary, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Look at that. So the anti-Messiah has power from Satan to do all power, signs, and lying wonders. This is why you see so much false signs, wonders, and miracles happening in tons of churches and religious groups worldwide in the false name JC, which is Satan masquerading as a messenger of light. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth. What is the truth? Go to Psalms 119 verse 142. Your Torah is the truth. The Torah is the laws, statutes, commandments, the instructions of the Father, Yahuwah, which they teach is done away with in the religion of Christianity. Why? Because of the Constantine Creed. This is an oath or a creed that all Christian leaders had to declare to become part of Constantine's Christian religion. Christianity, the religion of Jesus, the false Roman Messiah. They had to renounce all customs, rites, legalism, unleavened breads, sacrifices of lambs, of the Abarim or the Hebrews, all the feasts. They had to renounce all the sacrifices, the prayers, the fasts, the new months, the Sabbaths, all the laws. You see, this is why in Christianity they teach that the law is done away with. But the Messiah never did away with the law or the truth. Yahusha, the Messiah, said in Matat Yahu or Matthew, which means gifts, Ya'ad, chapter 5, 17 through 20, think not that I am come to destroy the Torah, the instructions, the truth, the law, or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. That Greek word, plero, means to cause the Most High's will to be obeyed as it should be. You can find that definition in G4137. For truly I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one yard or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the Torah, the truth, the law, the instructions, till all be fulfilled. You see, so because people have not received the love of the truth, Yahuwah's Torah, his instructions, his law, statutes, commandments, that they might be saved, and for this cause Elohim shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, Christianity and JC, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, the Torah, the law, the instructions of Yahuwah, but had pleasure in unrighteousness or lawlessness or crime against the Torah. Right? Because in Christianity it is commonly taught that the Torah, the truth, the law, the instructions are done away with. And because they reject the truth, the Torah, they are given to this strong delusion to believe the lie of Christianity and the false Messiah, JC, instead of the true Hebrew Messiah, Yahusha HaMashiach, who came in the Father's name. Even the apostles and disciples kept the Torah after Yahusha died and rose again. Romans 3:31. Do we then make void the Torah through faith? Yah forbid. Yeah, we uphold the Torah, the instructions, the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. There were 85 Shabbatut or Sabbaths recorded being kept in the book of Acts after Yahusha rose. The apostles, the disciples, did not go to church on Sunday, which is the false Sabbath in the Constantine Creed. So, to become what they call an action, they had to renounce the Sabbath of Yahuwah, and they had to accept the new Sabbath, Soldei, which means day of the sun, Sunday worship. Why? Because people used to worship the sun on this day. And behold, at the entrance of the temple of Yahuwah, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 males, with their backs to the temple of Yahuwah and their faces toward the east, worshiping the sun toward the east. Why do you think that all these false pictures of this false Messiah, JC, have a sun halo behind him? These images even go against Yahuwah's Torah in the 10 Dabarim from Shemut or Exodus chapter 20, verse 3 through 17. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or a graven image, any likeness of anything that is in Hashamaim above, or the heavens above, or that is in Ha'aratz, the earth or the land beneath, or that is in the waters underneath the earth. You shall not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am a jealous all, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me. We are not supposed to make images. It is time to renounce this false Messiah, JC, and accept the true Messiah, Yahusha HaMashiach. I'll see you guys in the next video. Much love and much shalom.